As far back as I can remember, I've been a geek. I've always liked things that were considered geeky, like most kids. I was obsessed with the Power Rangers. Oh yeah, that's right. It was always morphin' time. I'm still to this day a huge fan, not just of Power Rangers, but of all the classics. Whether it's those four cool dudes in Ninja Turtles, Star Wars, Star Trek, or even Pokemon. Around my early 20s, I'd be invited to do something that would shape the rest of my life. As a matter of fact, it inspired the journey I hope you'll all take with me on this show. In 2008, I was invited to join the cast of Geeks With Issues, a very ahead of its time roundtable discussion television show, available in beautiful Berkshire County, Massachusetts, as well as being seen on the Manhattan Neighborhood Network. I was one of the lucky few of us that were able to do such cool things as a yearly charity live stream of the Oregon Trail, a marathon event lovingly referred to as the Battle Against Dysentery, which not only made money for local learning centers, but also proudly donated to Child's Play, a wonderful charity group who have been lifting spirits through donation of consoles and computers to those geek kids who greatly needed and deserved a sense of normalcy while being away from home or family. My time with the geeks also took on adventures to New York Comic-Con and the New York Anime Fest, where I met so many cool geeks just like us. I was even lucky enough to meet the man himself, Stan Lee. Eventually, inevitably, our lives outside the basement of dreams called us to duty, and the geeks kept geeking. However, the show had to stop showing. Since the ending of our main story together, we've all had many adventures outside of the basement. Children born, careers changed, the world even fell apart there for a while. For this geek, my young geek woke up the geek in me. I found myself wondering, what does being a geek even mean anymore? Is being a geek cool now? What geeky things have I missed out on? While pondering these things, I had a chance encounter with a former Geeks cast member who told me to check out his TV performance coming up.
I can't, of course, in good conscience, leave without acknowledging that being here in the studio after so many years is kind of a homecoming for me. And this is also one of the only places in the world that I get, well, how do I put this? Maybe a little starstruck. You see, when I was a poor boy in Pittsfield and I was renting a room in kind of a silly little house on 4th Street across the street from Silver Lake. You know, I used to get home real late, 3 in the morning after getting paid peanuts to play all night in a beer slog dive bar someplace. My only comfort was, of course, my favorite show in the whole world, which was known as Geeks With Issues. And I used to watch it religiously, and I really came to follow my buddies Tuck the Geek Master and little Trevor there. Anyway, the point is, these guys would play Oregon Trail for 3 straight days, which was one of my favorite old games to play on the Apple IIc or the Apple IIe if you happen to be rich back in 1983. But I also always had this fantasy of writing a movie soundtrack or a theme song to a show, so eventually I got up the courage to put a few chords and a few words together, and maybe if we petition hard enough, we can get the geeks to come out of retirement, put that show back on the air. You guys would be doing me a huge favor. I used to think that anything was possible.
Tony, I heard you loud and clear. True believers, while I'd love to be back on the set with my fellow geeks, and that will happen, there will be a time for that. This is a journey I must take to reignite that passion I always felt in the basement of dreams. Today a new adventure starts. Today I invite you to join me in a side quest, and finding out what it means to be a geek today. Today I ask you to join me on my journey from the basement.